Yeah.
How would you introduce Odin to people who don't know him?
I'd say Odin, to me, is one of the biggest joy bringers of all time. He is an intelligent human who understands everything that's going on around him and has trouble communicating back. So when people ask, what should I say to Odin or whatever, like how would I greet him, just greet him like you would any other human, because he understands and he gets it. And he appreciates when people, recognize him and say hello to him, whatever, and greet him that way. And
I enjoyed listening to you play your music.
Can you give him skin? Can you give Chris skin?
Thank you. It's amazing meeting you today. I appreciate you letting me engage in some of your favorite things, like driving in the car.
What is Odin's diagnosis?
he is nonverbal autistic.
What's that like?
It's beautiful. It's like I remember going through all the doctor visits and trying to figure out what the diagnosis is and because we had all these different possibilities of what it could be. And then so when we finally got the diagnosis, he was 3 years old, and everybody's like, was that so tough? And I look back and like that was like one of the most freeing moments, is like having a diagnosis.
What's your favorite thing about Odin?
He is uninhibited. That is my favorite thing about him. Whatever he is feeling, he will let you know, and it's pure.
Like even when we were in lockdown or whatever, and we're all by ourselves, and I just noticed how free Odin still is, and he's still the same person, like whether there's people around or not.
I'm having a blast.
When people communicate directly to him, whatever, and ask him how his day is or whatever, and that is huge to me when somebody sees Odin. Especially if I go to a coffee shop and somebody, says hi to Odin first before they say hi to me, like that's really cool to me, because it's been so many years of somebody saying hi to me and just not even acknowledging that Odin's there. And I think that's my main thing, is I want Odin to be able to experience the same things that we do. Like when we go to a coffee shop, when we go to church or wherever we go, that people see Odin for who he is and know that he's in there, like he knows what's going on, and he wants to feel connected just like every other human does, and he wants to feel that. So yeah.
I sense a very Zen energy in your household. Is that something that's natural, or do you have to be intentional in your actions to achieve that?
I think it's two-part. So there's,
Back on?
I think the first thing is just love, right? So that hopefully is like the foundation of everything that we do, is like we just want to push out love, right? And then I would say the second aspect of that is I love physical things that make you feel warm and calm and cozy and peaceful. And so there's a lot of things in our house that are very zen and peaceful that way, especially like in your room, right, buddy? You've got like your salt lamps. You have a little water piece that does the fountain. He loves incense.
I know.
You do? I know.
Yeah, to go along with that, I can speak for, she is very, very detailed in her intentions. Like, even I noticed stuff in the house, like when someone new's come over, she picked flowers to have this cool feeling of the outside and the inside. I'm like, that's a detail that no one would really notice or whatever, but I notice it, and it's like you say, it feels zen in there. It's because every little piece of everything in our house is usually put in there with intention, like, and coming from a place of wanting peace, like you said, and even like when we take Odin different places, like to hotels. Like I remember the first time we took Odin to a hotel, she packed an entire suitcase of just stuff up from his room, posters and Christmas lights and Christmas trees and stuff that made it would feel that intentionally done to make a peaceful Zen kind of mode for Odin, because like that's our main motivation, is for him to feel safe, feel loved, feel the peace in our house, and that's kind of where all that comes from.
And thank you for saying that. That's a huge compliment. I got it.
I got you.
I got you. I got you.
How old is Odin?
He's 19.
Has your parenting philosophy changed as he's turned into a young man?
I don't think like a parenting philosophy has changed at all. We've definitely had new hurdles, of course, with adolescence and watching him become like a man is so crazy. But just, our parenting philosophy is like we want to do the best that we can to have him happy and healthy. So I don't know. I guess if you just start there, it doesn't really matter what stage they're in. Of course, the methods in which, to get there changes, but yeah.
What's the best way for me to communicate and connect with Odin?
Speaking to him directly, always. We always ask people, hey, you don't have to, talk to me to get to Odin, if you want to say hi to him and ask him how he's doing, get on his level and look at him in the eyes and just talk to him. So we always say that's great. And then just kind of when I think it's in any sort of communication, right? To read the other person and not be scared, Yeah. So yeah, I would say don't be scared if someone wants to communicate with you, right? To look directly in your eye and just talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy making new friends, Odin?
Yeah. You want your seatbelt back on? What do you think, bud? Do you enjoy making new friends? Kind of.
If they have snacks. If they have snacks.
Like he really does enjoy making, especially when you if they're communicating in the same way that she's talking or whatever, how you came in and just immediately just try to connect, and he fully appreciates that, and I as his dad, obviously I do. That's my main thing. As I don't mean to judge people on how they whatever, but my judgment is how they treat Odin or whatever, and not in a bad or worse. I'm like, oh, okay, you don't get it or whatever. I'm like, when people like you come in and people who in his community, they see him, and I love to see his reaction to that, because it's beautiful, and we all are all human. We all want to connect, and yeah, he fully loves that.
Don't feel sorry for him. Sometimes people really have a feeling of pity. And I'm not saying it isn't difficult for him, and I obviously can't 100 speak for him. I know it has to be so frustrating to not be able to communicate and, be limited in some areas, but he lives such a beautiful life.
So Odin has always loved the feels and textures of different things. And paint has been one of his mediums that he's loved to use. He doesn't hold a paintbrush or anything like that, but he takes his hands and he actually chooses all the colors and stuff. He has a whole plethora of colors that he chooses from, and he'll ask for more, do the more sign whenever he wants the right one, and he gets it there, and then he does this pattern. It's just so soothing to watch. Sometimes we'll play music for him while he's doing it, and you can see he's rubbing his hands on it in the same rhythm as the music is. And then he'll let you know when he's done. He just, he starts to walk away, or he starts to walk to the sink to get this stuff off my hands. And these are some of his pieces that he does. You can see his finger marks in it. And something really cool to me about it is just that you can feel his emotion in it when he does it. It's that's especially if you're watching him do it and then you see the results. Whoa, I felt that feeling. That's a really cool way for Odin to express. So this is Odin's DJ turntable machine he got from a buddy, and this you can hook it up and just do little scratches and stuff like that. But Odin kind of loves messing with all the knobs and This is like it's a sound effect record. So it's one of his favorite, like he loves all the weird sounds. A big grin.
Odin, do you mind showing me how you can use that?
He use like that. This way.
How would you describe your family?
Quirky. Like we don't do things, I guess, in the conventional way. I mean, what family does, I guess. But I describe us as we always say we are the weird one because we always doing just off the wall stuff. And I think our family motto is we're the family that tries. I've always been the person kind of like, you never know until you ask, or you never know until you try, or whatever. And that's kind of how we live our life. Is we want Odin to be elevated to the highest, and he's worthy of that. And so we always are just trying different things, whatever. Like even when we did a road trip from here to California, we had a 2007 van, and like I think we can make it, you know, like. We tried, and we did. We tried, and we succeeded. Like the trip was a success. We saw some of the most beautiful things in the world, the Grand Canyon, you know, all of the deserts in Arizona and New Mexico and all this stuff. And like I think that if we didn't put ourselves out there and try things constantly, that we would be missing out. And Odin, you know, I'm sure he would have a beautiful life no matter what, but I feel like I want it to be as beautiful as possible, so we keep trying things. And so that's kind of how our family's, we're the family that tries.